Friday Night SmackDown took place tonight from the WWE Performance Center, which is its new home until the time being. Before I get to review, I want to talk about a news story that happened this past week, and that was the WWE officially releasing Curtis Axel. He was not a part of the infamous Black Wednesday wave that happened 2 weeks ago. He was instead released a little bit later. Also, Cain Velasquez was released as well. I thought I'd mention that. That happened a week ago. When it comes to Curtis Axel, I thought the guy was a very likable person. Just seeing him in interviews, hearing other people's stories when other wrestlers shoot on him, he seems like a really good guy. I'm a huge fan of his father, Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, one of the all-time greats. But when he was in the wrestling business in the WWE, he was just never very good. He never had a distinct look to him. He looked very generic. There was nothing about his father that he had. He was okay in the ring. He was not bad on the mic. He did some entertaining things, I suppose. At first, he was a part of Nexus, and he was Michael McGillicuddy, which is just horrendous. And then he finally came back. Actually, after the Nexus, he had the tag team with David Otunga, and they were just awful. Eventually, he was repackaged as Curtis Axel with Paul Heyman, and he got a decent push for it. It looked like they were going to give this guy a big run, and then it just faded out. After 6 months, they stopped pushing him. He fell apart. He had a tag team with Ryback. They were Ryback, so they were awful. Curtis Axel, then, things just fell apart for him really quickly. Eventually, he would just get different gimmicks. It was Axelmania with Hulk Hogan, and when he was Axelmania, they had Damien Sandow become Macho Man down. There were new Mega Powers, and Hogan did the racist tape, and they had to scrap it, and he was just doing just various things, social jobbers, just being in the character. It's unfortunate they released him, but I guess when they're making cuts, someone like him has to get released. But I liked him overall. I thought he was actually pretty entertaining for some of the things he did. Anyway, SmackDown starts off with Daniel Bryan making his way to the ring. He knows in 9 days he's in a Money in the Bank match. It's the most unique Money in the Bank of all time. He did well here. He cut a good promo. I thought Bryan did well. Corbin comes out and they just don't care. They set up a match, and what happens is Daniel Bryan and Corbin are wrestling. Corbin grabs a ladder, tosses it in at Daniel Bryan for a DQ. Corbin gets DQ'd, Bryan gets the win. However, after a match, Bryan gets the upper hand. He puts Corbin in the ladder, and once he's there, he has him. Corbin's getting his ass kicked, then Nakamura and Cesaro come out, and they beat him down. All three heels beat him up. Corbin then takes Bryan to the top of the stage and throws him off the stage into a group of ladders, and Bryan takes a pretty hard bump into the ladders. Look pretty cool, though. In the back, we see Braun Strowman talking to Alexa Bliss. Team Little Big reunites. Alexa gives Braun Strowman her t-shirt, and then Braun uses it as a towel instead, and he wipes his sweat off it, and Alexa doesn't grab it. He gives it to Alexa, and Alexa doesn't touch it, so it's kind of a cute segment, but I don't know if they do more with them. Strowman cuts a promo on Bray Wyatt, kind of boring. Then Bray Wyatt has the Firefly Funhouse, and he reads a special story called The Black Sheep. This is Strowman as the Black Sheep. In the story, a shepherd saw a black sheep wandering alone. The shepherd brought the black sheep home and raised the sheep. They had a great time together until the black sheep left the shepherd. The shepherd was devastated and lost everything. The story fell apart at the end because the government took the shepherd's land and the reptilians showed up. Wyatt didn't like that sad ending, but he can change it. He continued with the story and said the shepherd takes the black sheep to the slaughterhouse, but Strowman interrupted. Strowman finished with the puppets and Firefly Funhouse. He challenged Wyatt to come to the ring. Wyatt just waved goodbye, and Strowman just stands there. I think Strowman's going to win because I think this was originally just going to be Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt, and a rematch. Roman is going to win, so I think they're just giving Strowman Roman's spot. Sheamus kills Leon Ruff. No one knows who this guy is. After a match, Sheamus gets mad at Michael Cole. Who cares? Jeff Hardy, champ before, don't care. Sheamus is still staring down Cole. Kayla Braxton's backstage. She interviews Mandy Rose, and Otis is in the back. And Otis notes he beat Dolph Ziggler at WrestleMania and promised to defeat him tonight. Otis is going to win Money in the Bank for him and his peach, Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose is definitely a peach. That's what they call women now. If you have a nice ass, a hot chick, they call them peach. They call you a peach. Yeah, Braxton asked about Sonya Deville. Kayla did, but Mandy Rose is more concerned about Carmella tonight. Mandy promised they're both going to win, and she kisses Otis on the cheek. Carmella comes out, and she's up against Mandy Rose. This is okay. Mandy's okay in the ring. Carmella's not. She's a little bit improved, but she's still not good. What happens is Sonya Deville comes out and she just yells at Mandy Rose on the mic. As Mandy's wrestling, she tries to ignore Sonya, but she keeps wrestling Carmella, and Sonya eventually starts to get in her head. Carmella starts to get the upper advantage. Sonya eventually comes to the ring. She's about to fight Mandy. Mandy turns around and hits a kit with a super kick by Carmella. 1, 2, 3. Carmella pins Mandy Rose. Carmella's in Money in the Bank. After the match, Sonya Deville snapped and she just viciously attacks Mandy Rose. She continued to beat down Rose and rocked her with the knee to the back of the head, and she threw her into the post where then she kneed her in the back of the head, and Mandy went head first into the steel steps. So she beat her up. In the trainer room, the trainer checked on Mandy Rose. Otis checked on her to make sure she's okay. Otis left and he ran into Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler wants to know how Rose is doing, and Otis just stares him down. They'll have that main event later. Forgotten Sons beat the New Day. No, non-title match. I'm sorry, I just don't care. I don't know. I have no interest. I just don't care. Michael Cole and Corey Graves run down the Money in the Bank matches, and both of them suck. Money in the Bank matches are shit this year. Both of them are really bad. I'm not lying. I think they both suck. Kayla Braxton interviews Tamina, and she said she's not going to be intimidated by Sasha and Bayley. Then, of course, Sasha approaches Tamina, and Sasha looked great. She's wearing like leather pants, and she's wearing a red top, and it's basically just barely covering her tits. She looked really good. Sasha approaches Tamina and distracts her, and she tries to reunite Team Bad, and of course Bayley comes out. Tamina chokes Bayley, then Sasha beats Tamina up, and Bayley and Tamina beat her up together. And they throw her around to throw her into backstage equipment. Lacey Evans makes a stave, and it becomes a battle. All four of them in Raw until the officials broke it up. Sasha's top almost fell off, so that sets up a tag team match, obviously, for next week. And I think Bayley's going to beat Tamina for sure in Money in the Bank. And I don't care about Bayley and Sasha in this feud. Dolph Ziggler spoke to Sonya Deville, and they make it like they're going to be an item. Looks like Sonya, her character, Daria, the person's a lesbian. I guess Sonya is, we don't know what she is. I assume she can be straight. The character, Dolph Ziggler notes that people think this is a movie and he's the bad guy, and he's not. That's not the real world. And he promised to win Money in the Bank again. He told Deville that she's done beating up Mandy. He'll side up to Rose, the new Universal Champion, and make her feel better. So I think they're doing something, and Sonya checks out Dolph. So I guess that's an item now. Money in the Bank qualifying main events. Otis and Dolph Ziggler, a rematch of WrestleMania. So Otis won. I knew he was going to probably win. I assumed it. He gets the win. It's just so strange that announcer like, what a big upset. He pinned Dolph Ziggler at WrestleMania. How's an upset? He pinned him. I know Mandy helped him when she attacked Sonya from preventing her from interfering, but how's an upset when Otis pinned Dolph Ziggler at WrestleMania? But he pins him again. Otis is in Money in the Bank, and that sets up the show. Money in the Bank is 9 days away. And we will see what happens. Next week, they have a 6-man tag match. Jinder Bryan, Drew Gulak, and Mystery Partner take on King Corbin, Cesaro, and Shinsuke Nakamura. Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt meet face-to-face. Lacey Evans and Tamina take on Bayley and Sasha Banks. Plus, Jeff Hardy makes his return on SmackDown. So, 1 week, Money in the Bank. Or a week from Sunday, to be exact.